the first game I wanted to talk about, Manchester United. What is wrong with Manchester United? What's going on with Manchester United? Like ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left, that franchise, that team has just been terrible. They can't seem to get their coach right. They can't seem to get their roster right. The roster has never looked like a competent roster. It doesn't look like the pieces fit together. It's just like what? Like it's been like 7 years since he left, and they still can't get it together. And yesterday they had Mourinho come back to Old Trafford, one of their probably the most successful coach they've had since Sir Alex, and he got kicked out and he left kind of ugly and people didn't like him. But man, Mourinho, when he exited Manchester, he said that getting second place with that Manchester United team was probably the biggest accomplishment in his career, or one of the biggest accomplishments in his career. And people saw that as a shot at United just because, dude, Mourinho is super accomplished. He's won the treble, I believe, twice with Porto and Milan and Inter Milan. And then for him to say that getting second place with United is one of his biggest accomplishments, it just felt like, all right, it's Mourinho being Mourinho, just taking a shot at United. But honestly, United should not be sniffing second place with the roster they have. Even now, they have a better roster now than when Mourinho was there. But at that time, if you look at the roster, that roster has no business being second place. So that was probably a master job by Mourinho, just getting them to second place. And then since then, they've only sniffed top three, I think, twice, which was last year, and then with Mourinho when they got second place. And even last year, they backed into that that third spot. They didn't particularly play that good. But I mean, United has spent a lot of money. I don't think they're bad because they're not spending money. I think they're bad because they're spending money in the wrong players. They're not developing their players once they get there. They've missed on their coaches for the most part. Oli needs to go. I mean, what are the signings that they've made? They brought in like Alexis Sanchez. They brought in Depay. Like all these signings have just been bust. And the most recent ones are Pogba's been there for what, 3-4 years now, and he's never looked like the Juve Pogba. He's never looked like the player that warranted all that hype. I remember, if you guys don't remember, when Pogba was like getting ready to leave Juve, everybody wanted him. He was a generational talent. Real Madrid wanted him. Barcelona wanted him. United wanted him. City wanted him. Everybody wanted him. Everybody wanted him. And United were the ones that got him, and I was like, damn, all right, he's gonna come in there and he's gonna change United. He's that type of talent. And he looks like a liability now. It looks like he's lazy out there. He makes half chances. He makes half-ass slides. He gave away a penalty yesterday because he did like a really lazy slide that he just like left his body on the ground, and the player, being smart, dragged his foot and earned a penalty. And I believe like on the fifth goal, he was supposed to be covering for his right back, and he's just walking easy through pass where Pogba should have been, and then they score. He just looks like he's not interested in playing hard. He's not even like 70% of the player he was at Juve, where he was scoring bangers from all over the field. He was running from one end of the field to the other, just dribbling through defenders. He has never looked that way for United. I think they should cut their losses. They should get rid of him and get a player that fits better with Bruno Fernandes and just move on for him, because Pogba, the Juve Pogba, is never going to show up for United. It's been long enough. It just doesn't seem like that was a good fit, that was a good transfer. They should move on. They should let him. I think Juve fits him better. He should just go to a different team. He needs to change his scenery because, it's just not working out at United. But with that being said, that has not been the worst signing by United. The worst signing in recent history, Harry Maguire, for 80 million euros. Are you kidding me? That is ridiculous. This man is terrible. He's so bad at soccer. I don't know how he's the most expensive center back ever. Like, it's laughable to think that they spent 80 million euros on this guy. It's just bad. Like, if you watch the game, they got absolutely wrecked by Tottenham, but they were up 1-0 because they got an early penalty, and then Maguire just shits the bed basically. He has the ball. He has a defender on him. He tries to header it back to one of his teammates. It bounces off him, goes over his head, and then he just starts going on full panic mode. He doesn't know how to clear the ball. Luke Shaw's in front of him. Looks like he could be in a good position to clear the ball. Maguire kind of tackles Luke Shaw to the ground instead of just letting him clear. The ball just keeps bouncing in the box, and then Tottenham pushes it in to the goal, and it's 1-1. And then Maguire is asking for a foul, asking for like getting on his teammates. The worst part is Maguire is the captain. You have that weak ass defender as your captain. What are you doing, United? And that falls on the coach. Like, how are you gonna sign Maguire as your captain? Give it to Bruno. Give it to somebody that's actually decent, actually good. Give it to Rashford. Give it to somebody. Don't give it to your mediocre, waste of space defender. Like that's disgusting. Like there's no way he should. Because now if you bench him, you're benching your captain. Like it just makes it harder. It's already hard enough to bench him just because you spend so much money on him. But now he's your captain too. It's just why would you put yourself in that predicament? You've been known he's not a good center back. Take that captain armband off him. He's terrible. In the second goal, there was another one. There was another moment where he's super clumsy. I think Harry Kane's checking to receive the ball. He like chests the ball, and then Harry Maguire just comes from behind and just tackles him. Super clumsy, just tackles him in the back. And then Harry Kane, being the smart player that he is, gets up quickly, sees the hole that Maguire left by coming to foul him, puts a through ball to Son, and then Son's left one-on-one against the keeper, and just does a little nice chip, and Tottenham takes a 2-1 lead. And it's just like, man, Maguire, you're the worst. You're not worth even 40 million euros or 20. Like, how much money could United potentially get back from Maguire? I don't know. I would not want to get him. He reminds me of Kepa. Like, he's the most expensive keeper, and he's cheeks. That's the same thing I think about Maguire, but probably even worse. Probably worse. Maguire is he's terrible. He's so bad. I feel sorry for United fans. You went from having Vidic and Rio Ferdinand to having Harry freaking Maguire that can't do nothing. United needs a new coach. They need a new center back. They need a new right back. They need new forwards. They need a lot of stuff, man. Thankfully, it looks like they're gonna sign Cavani on a free. He's a free agent, so they could get Cavani, but that's not gonna really help them. They need to shore up their defense. Luke Shaw, after that injury that he's had, even before, he was never that great of a defender in my opinion. After that injury, he's just fallen off a cliff. He leaves that side super exposed and puts his center backs in a bad position, and they're already not that good. Maguire needs to go. Luke Shaw needs to go. Ole needs to go. It's just it's laughable. It's upsetting that United has fallen this far. They weren't the only team that got trashed this weekend, but they're the worst team off out of all the teams right now. Because United had history, and they got trashed, and they got nothing going for them. Like, there's not a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just a bad team. It's been a rough time since Sir Alex left, and it looks like it's not getting better. It looks like it's getting worse. So, United, you got to do something, man. It, like I said, I don't think they'll fall as far off as like AC Milan fell off, but the world of soccer is better when AC Milan is a powerhouse or when they're relevant. And I feel like it's the same with United. The world soccer is better when United is a relevant team. The EPL is better when United is a relevant championship contending team, and they're just not that right now, and it's upsetting and it sucks. But they got to do something, and I think it starts with letting go of Ole. He was a good player for them. He's not a good head coach. He hasn't done anything as a coach to warrant being the head coach for United. He got Stoke relegated. Like, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get Pochettino. Move on. United, you gotta do something. You can't just keep going on like this. It's upsetting. I'm not a United fan, and it's getting me like super worked up. But I know United fans are not happy. They deserve better. Fire Ole. Get rid of Maguire. Get rid of Luke Shaw. Tell Pogba to get his act together, or else he's out too.